Good morning, guys. It is a beautiful Monday morning. Now, today I woke up with Psalm 27 on my mind. That's my mother's favorite psalm. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? And then he goes on and he describes a couple of things. When the wicked come to eat up my flesh, they stumble and fell. And then it talks about God hiding you, you know, as our light. It is that no matter what darkness comes, we know that God will bring light, that His presence in our lives will shed that light. His word will bring illumination into that situation. And so when He says, the Lord is my light, and then He goes on to say, and my salvation, it speaks that sometimes we need saving, whatever the situation may be. It gets you to that place where you feel as if you're trapped. Things are against you. You're imprisoned and you need saving. And then he says, hey, God is my salvation. So God is not just a light illuminating whatever darkness may come up against us, but He's our salvation. So whenever things seem to imprison us and enfold us and hinder us from whatever it is, God comes and He saves. And as we go into this week, I want to remind us that we have hope. Whatever it is that, last week is behind you, live in the now. Whatever it is that you were facing last week, remember that you are serving a God who is light and salvation. He brings illumination and He opens those prison doors and those things that are a wall against you. I don't know who it is I'm talking to, but like I said, I woke up with this thing on my mind, and I remember my mom would, I think she still could recite this entire psalm from start to finish, and she said they had to learn it as a child. And psalms like this and Psalm 23, Lord is my shepherd. Also, I want to stop and think about the fact that He claims God as His light and His salvation. Many times we look for light elsewhere. Many times we look for saving in other sources. But be reminded that God is the real light. God is the real salvation. When He comes and He brings light, it's unconditional. Sometimes people come and they come with a solution, but then it comes at a cost. And not all the time we are in a position where we can bear that cost that people want to attach to them bringing some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. You may be in financial need and they may come and say, hey, I can give you some finances, but it comes as a loan, and so you have to repay, and then you may have to think about repaying interest and how fast, if you're going to be able to accumulate to pay back. But when God comes and He brings life and He brings salvation, He does it without all those big fancy things. People say a drawback or a lashback. He does it without that. So remember, He is my salvation. Say it, He is my salvation. That means He is a personal Savior. He is your personal light. I think about the times when the street light comes on and it gives illumination to the entire area, and a lot of times it shines into the side of my yard, but I don't have any control over that because that's not my light. But I have a light that I turn on the side of the yard, and when I turn that on, I know, well, it's on. I have control as to whether or not I turn it on, whether it works or whether it doesn't work. Sometimes the street light doesn't work. I'm not in control of that. I gotta try to figure out who and why and whatever. But if something's wrong with mine, then I can get it fixed and all those things. So it's a personal thing. And God is willing to not just be my life, but He's willing to be your life. He's not just willing to be my salvation, but He's willing to be your salvation. So whatever it is that you're coming up against, go into this week knowing that you have a God who is personal and He's willing to be there for you as an individual. Whatever it is needs illuminating, whatever it is you need saving from, whatever walls you need coming down this week, look to Him. All right? That's my word of encouragement today. Remember, He loves you, and I do too. Be blessed.